Streaming data free on the MTN network in South Africa.
This is Omnisport.
T's and C's apply.
Man City's case is underway. It's 130 charges, by the way, not the 115 that has been reported. But what does it all mean? Arsenal have given manager Mikel Arteta, of course, a new contract. Is this the correct move for the Gunners? And then, of course, we are talking Champions League as well today. I hope you bounce back against the Rossoneri there, Kev.
Let's hope. So Arne Slot's got to do what Klopp did, basically just look to invent the team, to retweak them. That's what Klopp used to do in the big stage. So this is his time.
It is his time, but let's start off with the big news. Man City have been charged with breaking financial fair play rules over a 9-year period, which started in 2009 and went on until 2018. Among the charges the City are facing is that they did not disclose the financial remunerations that were made to managers over a 4-year period. The suggestion is that there were secret contracts to one of the managers, which they had. The suggestion is also that there were secret contracts made with players. Now, this is where it really becomes a problem, is that they didn't disclose the amount they were paying and had paid for players as well. The Premier League also allege City did not comply with UEFA's financial fair play rules over a 5-year period. They also allege City have not fully cooperated with the Premier League's investigation. These are just the major charges, obviously 130 of those. Pep Guardiola gave his thoughts on the case and what people should be thinking.
That's why I said Mr. Tebas and the Premier League team to wait. No independent panel, so that is the justice is there in the modern democratic countries. So wait the decision. It's not much complicated than that. So, but I don't know if he's lawyer or all the Premier League teams are lawyers. So what I ask is that is wait. It happened in the UEFA and every time. So. With something wrong, we believe we have not done anything wrong, so we go to independent panel and we are going to wait.
That's what Pep says.
Yeah, and he also said that if they've lied to me, I'm gone back in 2022. Remember that? And he's just slowly chipping away at that statement. No, maybe, you never know, you don't know. I've been looking at Manchester City's legal team. They're using a guy called Lord Panic. He's the KC King's Counsel. And he's the same guy that got him off the Champions League charges. He's from Blackstone Chambers. He's apparently one of the most highly regarded lawyers in England. And I would say he doesn't come cheap, but, deep pockets, big lawyers.
Whilst you're driving a car, it will need oil in this day and age. While you do that, Man City will be fine because they have all the oil in the world. literally the third most important man in the United Arab Emirates is their owner. He's the second oldest son of the king of basically that area. So we're going to be okay here in terms of money. All right, but one place where City do not have problems is Erling Haaland is now, this guy. Erling Haaland is now the first player in Premier League history to score 9 goals in his first 4 games. Pep gave his thoughts about the Norwegian hitman.
And for us, it's an incredible weapon, A team's like 1-against-1. When you isolate him with a central defender, with the quality that you have with Ederson and Stefan for the long balls and loop passes. So it's a weapon that, we have to explode. You have to use it. And the best way is 93 minutes, 92 minutes, forget. And just play. He's brilliant.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the Man City thing, because if they are cheating, what happens to this? Is this all like asterisks? Do we not count it? Like, how does it work? It's difficult in sport because Erling Haaland's brilliant. That's clear. Do we now associate him to Man City's owners cheating?
Yeah, is this financial doping?
Yeah.
Is this Lance Armstrong? That's exactly it. You got 7 Tours de France, and do you put an asterisk next to him? His name doesn't appear there, and yet other dopers' names do appear. So that's the analogy.
Ulrich,
Ulrich, and he's still around, and Bjarne Riis, his name's still there. So there are guys who cheated, and they've known about them, and they've been cheating for years, and they got away with it. So do we put an asterisk, or do we just go, okay, right, we're going to nail you big fines, you're going to take points away from this season, But now you need Erling Haaland to stand up and score another 40, 50 goals to get you through the season. You need to suffer like Everton did last season.
07 88 77 7716. What would be a fair punishment, and what are your thoughts on Erling Braut Haaland? Brilliant or part of a cheating organisation? This is the thing we're dealing with now. This is what the consequences are. But he's certainly brilliant. The records are there for now. Okay, let's move over to the big time with the Champions League starting for Man City tomorrow against Inter. The fixture congestion has become a topic again, and Pep also just says he cannot understand this.
No, it's something like annoying us in the store because we play Wednesday, Real Madrid, the quarterfinal Champions League, so extra times, and why we're playing Saturday and Sunday, and the broadcasters say no because it's more audience, more rating audience. No, it was completely the opposite. So United with the championship team that play Coventry, that was amazing. They have more audience. So if the game is good, the people will watch it. So why we cannot play Sunday or Sunday? This understanding is difficult for me to understand. And I said, we have to defend our product, the broadcasters. No, I defend my product, I defend my club, I defend my players. So this is the things it's difficult for me to understand it. It's why? Now the problem that Tuesday or against Watford is problem with schedules. There's no more days. A week is 7 days. We are not create 8 days a week, 9 days a week. No, that is going to happen. Just 7 days.
I'm starting to realize that I'm getting old. But for me, I love the Premier League first and foremost. I think it's the most difficult competition in the world to win. I think it's the best competition. And for those who don't know, the UEFA Champions League was invented really as in this current format by an American marketeer. I actually got to interview this guy, a very, very fascinating guy. He even came up with the music and he said it's got to be creme de la creme. But these modern audiences, I don't know if young people care so much about history, because the storytelling for them is it swag? Is it cool? Is it winning? Can I consume it quickly? And there's just young people now have just so many options. Yeah. You think back in our day, whatever was on TV is whatever you're watching. Now, how many subscription platforms? 10, 12? Some people can, I know people, you got Amazon, you got Disney, you got this, there's Showmax in South Africa, there's this. So I don't know if people care as much anymore whether young boys are playing Man City are playing Real Madrid. Like, it's starting to feel like, who cares? We're just paying bills now.
Yeah, one thing we are lucky about in South Africa is we do have SuperSport, so we got a one-stop solution for that. Whereas if you're in England and you got Sky, then you have TNT, then you got BT, and look, they don't have the rugby rights. Oh, hang on, wait, they've got the cricket rights, Channel 4, and you keep bouncing around. So you're paying little subscriptions. We can pay one and get most of the pretty much all the sport, but that is not the way the younger generation is looking. So they're looking at can I watch it on my phone?
Yeah.
Can I watch it in bed on my phone? Can I watch it on my iPad? What do I like? We used to plan to go to a bar that would have the football on because some of us didn't have DSTV.
Yeah.
That sort of things. So it became a destination event for us. Not anymore. It's just about I'm going to pick my choice. So this group stage only finishes in January, for heaven's sake, January, which is ridiculous. And I think Pep's right. Why can't we play on a Monday or a Sunday?
Well, as I was saying yesterday, now we have 7 days of football. What about player health?
Yeah.
Does that matter? Or should they just, hey, you earned £300,000 a week, shut the hell up and play? I guess to whom much is given, much is expected. 07 88 77 7716. We're discussing Man City, of course, and their fate, and where the players are playing too much football. Pep Guardiola says he does not understand it. It's not good for the product. It's too much football. We need to have less. Arsenal manager, though, Mikel Arteta, he seems to think completely the opposite.
Whether I have or not, I'm sure we're going to play Thursday and Sunday and then Tuesday. So it's what it is. We have to adapt to that. If we're going to be a top team, a very challenging team that is up there, we're going to have to adapt to those things.
We'll hear from Arteta in 2 or 3 years if he's successful, because remember, Man City have basically played every single game of the season for the last 4 or 5 years. So Pep is saying his players are exhausted, and Arteta, he's still, it's easy to be the hunter and have this attitude, being the hunted and just constantly trying to stay on top and be Pep and every day trying to stay ahead of everyone. Perhaps that's wearing on him and his side. Let's go to some history. A football club I absolutely love. I love Birmingham as a city. I loved when I lived in London. I loved going there. It's an incredible place, and an incredible thing about them. And I was fortunate enough to have played at Villa Park as a young player in the academy there, is they had an unbelievable atmosphere. Now, that club has gone through what it's gone through over the last decade. Yeah. But make no mistake, and I'm not just saying this, it's obviously something people say, that is a monstrous club. Like, there are certain clubs that are just proper football clubs, and Aston Villa is a proper football club. Well, they are back in the big time for the first time since 1983, having won the title in 1982. Aston Villa are a sleeping giant themselves. They will play Young Boys tonight in the Champions League. It's great to have them back. Don't know if you saw them trolling Arsenal in that game they had, where Aston Villa in the Premier League game against Arsenal had the Champions League trophy in the middle of the thing, so the players had to walk past it.
Extraordinary. I mean, that is just, it is trolling of the highest caliber. I was so impressed.
It is absolutely brilliant. Manager Unai Emery spoke about his objectives this year in Europe.
The first message I can send then is I want to be competitive. I want to face each team, tomorrow Young Boys, after Bayern Munich, being competitive like we are in Premier League. And how the difficulties to compete in Premier League, being there in the top position last year, and the similar competitive we will have to do in this competition in Champions League, because more or less the best in the world, they are in Champions League, of course, and in Premier League.
So I think that's a fair way to look at it. He wants to compete as they compete in the Premier League, but it's not going to be easy. We've spoken about depth. Aston Villa, big club, and especially now, here's another part that we need to think about. We saw that they qualified for the Champions League, but they had to sell Douglas Luiz. Obviously, the PSR, those Premier League rules with the financial losses you can suffer, have affected the clubs that are trying to join the big clubs, because they have 2 billionaire owners, by the way, Aston Villa. Newcastle are the richest club in the world, but they can't spend that money like Man City could. So there isn't really a way to catch up and also be able to stay. So that'll be a big challenge for Aston Villa. We saw with Newcastle last season in the Champions League, but then everything went to the toilet in terms of the league.
Yeah, I see one of the Villa owners is actually an African. I think he's the only...
the Egyptian guy,
Now Steve Saurus, and he's actually threatening to sue the Premiership for those FPRs, and he says they're just unfair. And I think everybody thinks they're unfair because they see what City got away with. And everyone goes, well, let's emulate that. No, you can't emulate. You can't just spend. You can't just throw money. Yeah, you talk about history, so about Villa, and the way these guys have treated Villa is with respect, I think, and continuity, and for sustainability. And I see, Emery has asked for the team to stand up, because the late Gary Shaw, he died. He was part of the 82 team. He died on Monday, 63 years old. They had a fall at home, and they've asked him to win the game for him,
which is absolutely amazing. Belgian star Youri Tielemans also spoke about his reasons for joining Emery at Villa and the team's objectives in the competition.
Individually, he did, yeah, because that was one of his goals when he joined the club as well, and that's how he set it out to me as well before signing. And it was a real big goal for him to achieve, and which we did now. But now we want to carry on, and we don't only want to participate in this. We really want to make our mark in the competition. Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've got some really big games either away or at home, and tomorrow is going to be the start of it. And obviously with this new format now, every game is really important with a point system. So like I said, we want to make the most of it, and hopefully we can get a win here, but it's going to be very difficult.
All right, that is Youri Tielemans, who plays for Aston Villa, Belgian star. They are going to be brilliant. It's going to be great to have them back, and it'll be a great TV product to have the villains back in the things. All right, in 60 seconds, we don't like cricket. We love it. Ken Borland will join us next. We'll talk all things Proteas, men's and women's cricket.
Let's go. Streaming data free on the MTN network in South Africa.
This is Omnisport.
T's and C's apply.